Hey, I'm Travis Culver, and we are on the road searching for the best people, places, and destinations we can find. Destinations like Guru Donuts here in downtown Boise. You're watching Love Where You Live.
That strawberry topping's really good.
Pumpkin season is upon us, and we're at Linder Farms in Meridian, Idaho, getting lost in the corn maze and picking some pumpkins.
We have over 20 acres of pumpkins, 20 different varieties-ish.
And we get a history tour in Idaho City with some furry friends.
She has been doing school tours and walking tours for 12 years since she was a little puppy.
It is Halloween season, it is fall festival season, and so we figured what better than to go grab a pumpkin. So we're here at Linder Farms, and if, well, this pumpkin isn't really your speed, it's a little bit defective, that's okay. There's plenty of others to choose from. I'm here with Sherry. She's one of the owners here at Linder Farms. They have been here since 2003. First off, what did it look like when it first started?
Oh, when we first started, everything you see was just pumpkin field.
Okay.
We started with an empty field, never been cultivated really.
So this barn wasn't here, nothing?
No, it was just a big empty field. And we built our house, and then we started out in front. There's this little teeny tiny white shack.
I saw that coming in.
Yeah, it was small. All we could do was fit a nacho machine in there and a popcorn machine.
But you had everything you needed. Nachos and popcorn.
Yeah, really, and hot chocolate.
And hot chocolate, there you go, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Trifecta.
And at the time, it was any pumpkin you could find was $2.50.
Okay.
We were thrilled when we had 5 cars in the parking lot. Let me tell you, that
Nice.
was a busy day.
Yeah, and now today, fast forward 12 years later,
Yeah.
do you know what your average annual attendance is, even like roughly?
I couldn't even begin to guess.
Yeah, thousands? Is it in the thousands at least?
Yes, thousands. Saturdays alone, we can be up in the thousands, over
Oh
thousands.
my word. How does it feel to start from like this little idea to now you're like, holy cow, what do I do with all these people?
It's impressive. My husband's definitely the visionary man. He's the one who saw the potential here, and I just kind of was drug along, kicking and screaming.
You know what people don't realize about you guys too? If you haven't been to Linder Farms is in their backyard. How do you do that? Like, what's it like having people come here?
It's a little nerve-wracking. It helped when we finally put up a fence to designate, this is our spot.
Yeah, this is home.
Don't cross this.
That's
And
hilarious.
We've just adapted to it. Our kids don't know anything else. Our youngest is 14, and he's always known Linder Farms is part of our life.
Does he work for you?
Oh, all of our kids have worked for us.
Oh.
We're helping
That's
put
probably
these
part of
up
the family agreement, right?
Yeah, it's like in blood. No, it's helping to put my daughter through college. The money she earned while she was going here, my son the same way.
So what is your favorite thing at Linder Farms? I know that's really tough, probably.
I have 2 favorite things.
Okay.
Our first one is our pumpkins.
Okay, pumpkin
Now,
patch.
our pumpkins this year, we have over 20 acres of pumpkins, 20 different varieties-ish. We hand plant those pumpkins. I don't think people really understand that we have these little things that we put in the ground and drop a seed down, and we plant every single plant by hand.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's crazy. I can't believe we do it.
Still. See, something that we noticed that was really neat when I took my family here a few days ago was this was an actual pumpkin patch. And the reason I mention that is a lot of times you go to pumpkin patches, and it's actually like a lawn where they took a bunch of pumpkins and they just kind of strew them, which is cute. This is an actual patch.
Patch, hand planted, patch.
And I learned about a new variety of pumpkin I didn't even know existed because we came and I bought one, Cinderella pumpkin.
Oh, those are the best.
And by the way, I have to tell you, it makes the best soup in the world.
I was gonna say, if you want to cook, get the Cinderella pumpkin. That's what I use. I'll cook it up and freeze it.
We made like a soup, almost like a bisque out of it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So you can come here, you can do pumpkin hunting, you can do the zombie hunting, and actually take something home to make a meal. I mean, that's a win right there.
Yeah, I told you I had 2 favorite things, right?
Yeah, what's the second?
The second is our hand-dipped corn dogs.
Oh, I've heard lore.
Oh, they are beyond good.
Well, your little mini donuts are a little insane too, I have to tell you.
Mini donuts, they are really, really good.
Yeah.
But you can kind of, there's other places around the Treasure Valley you can find them.
Yeah.
There is nowhere else in the Treasure Valley, because we have our own secret recipe for those corn dogs.
We're gonna have to do a corn dog.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to do a corn dog. Okay, very cool. Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you for
Thank you for
coming.
letting us be your guests here. I cannot wait to run around and act like a stupid kid and check out all the fun things here at Linder Farms. Well, one of the most absolutely popular parts of Linder Farms is this right here, the corn maze. Every year it seems like they try to outdo themselves and make it bigger and better than the year before. This year, they have 3 separate corn mazes just in this corn maze alone, let alone the haunted corn maze. And by the way, let it be known, I'm not going there. Now, when you go through the corn maze here at Linder Farms, they tell you to plan on at least an hour or 2 with 3 different mazes and a map and a whole bunch of stations to stop at and punch your card. It'll take you a while.
While most of us are headed to bed or fast asleep, the owner of Guru Donuts, Kevin, is getting up and headed to the donut shop to make some tasty treats.
I'm here with Michael Kuhn. He is our tip expert on Love Where You Live. He's the owner of Treasure Valley Remodel and Restoration. And it's kind of obvious, I would guess right now, we're on a roof. Why are we on a roof right now?
Well, we're here to talk about the installation of a new antenna. Yeah, well, a couple things are make sure that you feel comfortable on a roof before you do it.
Makes sense.
A lot of people can do it off of a ladder, but because of the height of the additional houses around, we have to go to the peak of the roof.
Right.
And make sure you have a good visual of the mountains around so that you can get a good reception.
Digital is very linear, it's line of sight. So when Michael's talking about getting a good view of the mountain, keep that in mind when you're installing your antenna. You can't just install it anywhere. That's why we are where we are on this roof. We looked at some other places and this was the very best place. It's gotta be line of sight. You have to be able to see, for example, Bogus Basin is a good one where a lot of transmitters are to make sure you get a really good clear signal.
Correct.
What are some things you should make sure are taken care of before you get back down?
Well, you want to make sure that everything you've done is secure. You want to make sure that the screws and bolts or whatever you're using to attach it to are secure. Make sure that if you've created any holes that you fill them. If it's on the roof itself, that you use a tar blackjack type material to fill the holes in. If you're going to do it in the siding, that you've filled the holes in the siding or the fascia, whatever you're using, so that water doesn't infiltrate into your house.
For more great tips around your home from Michael and Treasure Valley Remodel and Restoration, just go to lovewhereyoulivetv.com. Welcome back to Love Where You Live. We are in downtown Boise at the new Guru Donuts location.
The new one.
Which is really cool because you guys just moved here recently. This is Kevin, and Kevin is the owner and baker extraordinaire
Yes.
here at Guru Donuts. And in front of us is a very unique looking donut. This is not what you expect a donut to look like at first, I don't
Donuts
think.
aren't supposed to be red.
What is this?
This is a strawberry banana cream filled Bismarck.
So is this the Hannah Banana or something I saw out
Hannah
there?
banana, yes.
Okay, so filled Bismarck, but there's something different about this other than it's just strawberry banana, right? Like this has a dietary...
It's a vegan donut, so there's no animals were harmed in making this donut.
No animals were harmed in the making of this donut.
Yeah.
So you said banana cream filling.
Banana cream filling from
How do you
scratch.
do the top? You said that's strawberry, but it looks like powdered sugar.
So it's made with grinded down dried strawberries.
So it's you got little chunks.
Yep.
And then you take it and you dip the donut in it? Is that how you put the top on it?
They dip it in there and they squish it around and then they fill it with the banana cream filling. Most of our berries, fillings and toppings, we know the actual grower. You know, Peaceful Belly, we get certain ingredients from.
What about these strawberries?
These strawberries, we don't freeze dry. We get these.
Oh, you
from
freeze dry,
different
okay. But you also use other fresh strawberries, don't you?
Yes, there's the strawberry that we have right now out comes from our friend Joanne, who is the strawberry lady at the farmer's market.
You say that with a hint of romanticism. Like you don't say just the strawberry, you're like the strawberry. What's that?
She's the strawberry lady, man. She's the best strawberries you'll ever taste. That locally grown food is much better than mass-produced, stuff that you would get.
Buy local thing.
Yeah, and again, it's not a marketing ploy whatsoever. It's a flavor thing. I mean, you can't beat it. That and the fact that we know the person making the stuff. So if we can get locally sourced or regionally sourced flour, eggs, again, the theme of this shop is consciousness. We put love into them, and we receive the love from our.
So where do you get your recipes from? You come up with them yourself? You have a master chef cookbook somewhere?
There's the crew here is amazing. I don't touch the flavors. They don't allow me to, even those meetings, to even come up with the flavoring. But
you're told to make the dough and get out of the way.
Get in there at midnight and make the dough. But so they come. They have weekly meetings, and we kind of inspiration from all over different sources. The internet's a huge thing, but whatever's in season is kind of what we try to work around that. But when huckleberries are in season, we'll do a huckleberry glaze. When strawberries in season, we'll do a strawberry filling or a compote.
A lot of seasonal. Do you ever do a peach donut? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, those are really good.
Man,
those are really good. Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Eat one. Eat
Wow,
one.
right now?
Yeah,
We're going
right
for it?
now. Try it.
Oh,
Just
it's so warm,
the,
though.
Yeah, get the. Come on.
That strawberry topping's really good. You never know, like it is like cinnamon sugar.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing the strawberry cinnamon sugar thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's vegan?
Yep.
Who knew? You know, I think one of the things about food, I know at least for me, a lot of people I think, we have no clue where our food comes from. Right. Whether it's mass produced or micro produced, kind of like you're doing here. Right. So walk me through what it takes to get you from a whole bunch of dry ingredients to this.
You know that, I think it's Dunkin' Donuts, that time to make the donuts.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah,
commercial?
yeah.
From the 70s? It's like that. I get here around midnight, so which means I go to bed around 3 p.m. when the
That's brutal.
when the North End is humming with kids and bikers and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I'm shut in and sleeping.
So you have good earplugs.
That and a very loud fan with an air conditioner. Get here around midnight and start putting all the ingredients together. Mixing the flour, mixing the dough. The very first, to start at midnight, which means we'll have donuts ready by about 6 a.m. So there's a pretty long process.
Now, I heard that you are the only donut shop in the Valley that we know of.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Yep.
For my research, at least.
Yep.
That does it all from scratch.
Correct.
As opposed to at least starting with some kind of mix.
Just
Which
like
is not like that's inherently evil.
No. Just
but
like in every business, every food business has gone down to, you know, they'll truck produce from Mexico, 1,500 miles is the average. They'll truck the food in, they'll sell it to a big distributor. And in the donut world, instead of just using a bag of flour like we do, that bag comes with all the preservatives and ingredients inside the bag. You add water, yeast, and you make a donut. We do it a little different, where we have to get, we get the flour, cane sugar, yeast, milk, eggs, and that's what takes the time, is making sure
That's what's taking you 6 hours, right?
Yeah. From start to this, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're also making dough for like a ton of donuts, right?
Yeah, we do, like on a Saturday, we do about 6 batches, and that lasts from like midnight, and we're done at around noon the next, it's about 12 hours to make all those. And it's about 1,000 donuts that we sell on a Saturday. It's pretty crazy.
That's a lot of donuts.
Yeah, and on Monday or Tuesday, like today, we do 3 batches, and it's about 600 donuts.
It's really interesting though that, I think that's a different approach to donuts too, is like, I think it's not terribly uncommon to hear of like a pie bakery.
Right.
Or a cake bakery that does everything from scratch.
Right.
But not necessarily donuts. And that, I think it reflects in your donuts, like even in the size and the shape of them. I know that sounds crazy, but like your donuts, obviously you shape them.
Yep. And they're funky, and some are big, some are small.
They look and taste different, and the texture's different. And I mean, personally, I love that, because to me that gives away these weren't
stamped out.
These weren't stamped out on a machine 27 hours ago.
Right. Right.
And that's what takes you 6 hours.
Yeah. And it's worth it, I think.
I love how you're like, it's worth it. It is. Well, like you said,
it
it just feels right. And I think that's something that is really, really powerful. And it's something that I love talking about with Love Where You Live, is finding people like you who are doing what you love.
Yeah.
And I've found that some people, they're making a ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
Others, most aren't.
Yeah.
They're surviving. But the thing that's really neat to me is when you're talking about like LA and Burbank.
Right.
The thought that came to my mind is, there you were surviving. Here you're thriving.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like, and thriving doesn't have to be like making millions either.
Right.
I love the passion you have for what you do. And would you say you Might be somebody who could say you love where you live, maybe,
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I do love where I live. Yeah.
Listen, thanks again, man. Really
Again,
appreciate it.
thank you, man.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Guru Donuts, corner of 10th and
Main.
in downtown Boise. That's their new location. You can check it out. You can taste the love in every donut. Learn more about them at lovewhereyoulivetv.com. Just search keyword Guru.
G-U-R-U.
Yes, as opposed to
G-O-O-R-O-O.
I don't even know what
No,
that is.
no,
That might get you, won't get you anywhere on our site.
Yeah.
Might get you somewhere weird on Google.
Back in the day, Idaho City used to be the happening place. Today, it's a small logging community. Next, we check out a few of the buildings that are still standing from days past. Welcome back to Love Where You Live, a show that's all about amazing people, places, and adventures. This week, we're in Idaho City hanging out with Rhonda, who, along with her 2 dogs, does walking tours with the Idaho City Historical Society.
Tell us what we're in front of right now. What is
Well,
this?
it used to be the post office. It was actually built by James Penny, was the architect. Now it's the Boise Basin Museum. And I really like people to start out here because sometimes people will come here time and time again and they'll just come and get ice cream and they won't even, and then drive off and won't even realize that this is probably the most historic town and historic street in Idaho City, in the state of Idaho. Because really, I mean, the history of Idaho City is the history of Idaho because everyone came here first for the gold rush. Gold was discovered in 1862, so we're talking 150 years ago. And if you come here to the museum first, you really get a feeling for the impact of what happened here. There were 25,000 miners that lived here. This was the biggest city in the Pacific Northwest.
In this little town now.
Yeah, so 500 now and probably 25,000 in the mid-1860s. And this, as I said, this was the post office. Now it's the museum, and it's a great museum. There's 4 rooms and a really neat film to see. So if you come here first, you can really get a feeling for Idaho City and the history. But you can see that it is built of brick, and they have these iron doors.
I was going to ask, what's the deal with those iron doors? Because those aren't playing around. Like those are cute. Why were those installed?
Yeah, so they were actually carted here from San Francisco. They weigh about a ton each.
Wow.
And it's to fireproof the building. So in 1865, the whole town burned to the ground. And 2 years and 1 day later, guess what? Another fire started and the whole town burned to the ground.
I remember hearing
Again,
that. So they finally decided enough was enough.
Yeah, they figured it out, and they put the iron doors and the iron shutters on the buildings, and they put 2 feet of dirt in the ceiling to keep the fire from coming down into the buildings. And just all over town, you can really take yourself back and to the 1860s, and you just have to squint a little bit, take out the cars and the power lines, and you can really take yourself back. And that's what Idaho City is all about, is being able to go back to a gold camp. Because Idaho City was the queen of the gold camps, and rightly so. It was more bustling, with all those. Yeah, absolutely.
After the break, Rhonda and her 2 furry friends give us a tour of the remaining historical buildings in Idaho City. Thanks for joining us on Love Where You Live. We're in Idaho City with Rhonda, getting a history lesson on how the gold rush made Idaho City one of the biggest cities in the Northwest.
Now these dogs actually play a purpose in what Rhonda does, which is really, really cool. This is Mojo.
This is Mojo.
And this is Mariah.
And Mariah.
What do Mojo and Mariah do on the tour?
So Mariah is a veteran. She has been doing school tours and walking tours for 12 years since she was a little puppy, and she has trained Mojo well. He just had his first school tour about a week ago. He's just almost a year old. And so he's taken over. He's learning the ropes from Mariah.
Just past you down here, there are some really fascinating looking buildings. We've been driving around, and I am dying to know about, there's like a what is that place called down there?
Pest house.
I couldn't remember, like the Pest House. And another one. So let's go take a look. Let's have Mojo and Mariah walk us down there. We'll see what we see.
So the first house is the Holly House. And Judge Holly lived in it. It's from 1867. And you can see that we have got it set up just as if it were being lived in now, with the ice box and the cook stove, etc., in there. And then farther down in the village, we've got the Galbraith house, and I like to tell kids that in this, what seems like a teeny tiny house to them, there were 7 kids. And, and this brings up the fact that, the kids weren't inside all the time like they are now. They were outside playing, so they really just came home to eat and sleep. Otherwise, they were outside winter and summer. So, it seems like we couldn't live, 1 or 2 people in here, but that's the way it was then. Yeah, farther down in the historic village, we've got the blacksmith shop. And, kids, they don't know where their nails come from.
Right. Just come out of a box from Home Depot, right?
They come from Lowe's, right? But to show them that everything that was made out of metal, had to be made by the blacksmith. And if you go down in the penitentiary, there's the square nails, and there's just 1,000 of them, and every single one of them had to be made individually. And it really, it really shows them.
So each nail was made by hand.
Yep.
Man, the idea of having to make nails by hand, you go to the store and you grab a box and you just make what you need to make. But this guy had to make them by hand, and it's not always cold in Idaho City, right? Like, how hot does it get here in the summer?
Oh, it can get over 100 even here.
And he's working with piping hot molten metal, molten steel. He must have been a pretty popular guy in town.
Yeah.
Pretty high demand, right?
Yeah, the blacksmith was one of the most important people back then.
So there's one more
this is it,
building down here this is the one that really, really, really has my interest, because I've always wondered, I drive by here and it says it's the pest house and county jail.
Right.
What in the world is this?
So it's not pest like insects, it's pest for pestilence. So this is,
good.
Yeah. So they kept people with contagious diseases quarantined in the pest house. So
wait a minute, at the same time that it was a county jail?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was later.
Okay. I'm like,
yeah, I know. I
like,
hear you.
well, you don't want to get jailed in this joint.
No.
So if you had been diagnosed with the pestilence, and was that actually a specific thing? Or was
It could have been anything. It could
spread
have
of things?
Yeah, it could have been cholera. It could have been whatever was going around.
Just if you weren't right, this is where you went.
Smallpox, anything that you had to be quarantined for. So as you can see, 1865. So all the buildings you're going to be seeing just about are 1865 and 1867, because the fires, the buildings either survived the fires or they didn't and were rebuilt in those years.
Well, that's all we've got for you this week on Love Where You Live TV. If you want to know any more about any of our destinations, or you want to pick up some really cool Love Where You Live swag, like this Antler Idaho t-shirt, you can find it all in one place at lovewhereyoulivetv.com. We'll see you next time.